to Journey to Me. Today, my journey is going to be learning how to cook. So I've roped my husband in, who does all the cooking in our household. Anybody that knows me knows pretty much the only thing I can cook are maybe some eggs and macaroni and cheese. So my next journey, obviously I'm still doing my guitar.
That's macaroni and cheese out of a box.
Yes. Actually, I'm still on the journey with my guitar, but we're going to start a new journey. I'll give you updates on that one at a later date, but my new journey this time is learning how to cook. And we're going to start out making his famous, or I call it famous, chicken soup, because everybody in the family loves it. So I'm going to get in, get my hands dirty, but he's going to start out by kind of telling you what ingredients we need to get started.
So this chicken soup has kind of been passed down from my grandmother to my mother to me. And I've kind of put my own little few touches on it, just like every recipe that gets passed down. But it's really, really simple. So all this recipe calls for is kosher salt, extra virgin olive oil, some pepper, some celery. And when you do the celery, we want these leaves. So the leaves inside of this is what we're after. Of course, we're going to use the celery stalks themselves. Carrots, an onion, of course our chicken, and this is a ginormous chicken, just to say. Her dad actually brought this to us. He had gotten it from somebody who was frozen enough, defrosted it, but that's an enormous chicken, but it'll make great chicken soup. And of course we'll need eggs and flour, and the eggs and the flour are actually for the Kluski part of the chicken soup. So this is actually a kind of a Polish dish. Originated from my great grandma, or from my grandma, who was Polish. She was 100% Polish, and so she passed this down to my mom. My mom passed it down to me, and like I said, I kind of did my own little spin. So Kluskis are just basically a pasta dough. So we're going to make a pasta dough today, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And it's very, very simple. And yes, I keep a 5-gallon bucket of flour. I buy it in bulk, and
video.
Yeah, and it's just it's a lot easier than dealing with the little sacks. I just put it in a sealed bucket. So, but anyhow, this is what we're going to use today. We're going to use the food processor, which is way over here, and that's going to be for making the dough. It makes it really, really quickly. So yeah, so let's get started, and we'll go from there.
I'm going to wash my hands first.
Probably
First
a good
thing,
idea.
yes, Mom, I'm washing my hands.
All right, so Vicki is getting her hands washed. I'm going to wash my hands.
All right.
And it's not uncommon for us to have like several dogs underneath our feet in the kitchen.
We have 5 dogs, so 2 of them are in here. The other 3 are not at the moment.
Yeah. And our dogs are very, very needy, especially our blue heeler. Her name is Lola, and
she's on the floor below
she
us.
cannot stand to be not near me, so she's always got to be within eyesight, or else she goes nuts. All right, so it's very, very simple. What we're going to do first is we're going to break down this chicken. I'm going to show you how to do that. Then we're going to go ahead and cut up our vegetables. We'll move our flour and eggs kind of out of the way. And of course, you see the chicken is on a better surface, so we don't cross-contaminate or anything. So we'll go ahead and we'll deal with the chicken first and get it all cut up and ready to go. Then we'll wash our hands and our knives and everything, and then we'll deal with the vegetable side of it. So we'll go ahead and get started. So what you need is a good sharp knife.
Okay.
Hopefully this is good and sharp. If not, we can take it. We can use our steel. We can give it a few runs down the steel.
I'm a little intimidated by this chicken.
It is a big chicken, but
I don't know how to cut one up.
the anatomy of the chicken is actually pretty simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to butcher half the chicken and show her how to do each step, and then she's going to do the exact step on the opposite side.
Okay.
So first we're going to start, and you can start with your legs or you can start with your wings, either one that you decide. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the inner part of this leg. I'm going to do a slice just in the joint. And then what I do is I take it and I break it apart. And then inside you can kind of see a little bit better about where the actual joint is. and if you just give it a little pop, then you just slice right through, and then your leg is off. And of course, this is a pretty big chicken, so you know, its bones and everything are going to be a little bit larger than a normal chicken. So anyhow,
Small turkey.
got the leg off. So now I'm going to have Vicky do her side. So I'm going to have you do the same thing. Just go in right here, slice straight down in this V. Very good.
Like that?
Yep, yep,
Enough?
yep. And then what we want to do is we want to come back here and we want to slice down here too. That gives us a little better access. What we're looking for is we're looking kind of where the natural joint is. So if you take this, and then break it down, break it straight down, like you're breaking, you have to grab it up here so you have more leverage. All right, now, well, we don't, what we want to do is we grab the meat of it here,
Okay.
and then what we'll do is we'll go like that. There you go. Hear it popping?
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
Ugh.
Perfect. So you
Okay.
see how the joint the joint just popped up?
Yes.
So if you can't see, I'll show you here. Give you a real close up. See how this bone popped up out of here? That's what we're looking for. We're looking to basically break that joint in right there, so we can go ahead and.
Just so you know, my husband has a YouTube channel as well, so that's why he brought that in.
Yeah.
We're both doing the recording.
So once we found our joint, then we just basically cut through our joint. See, this is actually one edge of the joint, and this is the other. So you want to cut down right down through here through the middle. So go ahead and do that, and then you'll have the leg off. See, if you feel resistance, if you feel that bone, then you know you're not in the joint. So you got to kind of feel around with the knife until you can feel that. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You got it. Keep going all the way through now. Perfect. All right, so we got a leg. Nice.
Doesn't look very pretty, but
That's all part of it. Yeah, so let me get some paper towels. And of course, this is a very juicy chicken.
yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
That's okay. We just set that right on here and soak up some of that juice. Of course, being a big chicken is
big
part of it.
Oh.
They're like 5 minutes away.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to have to pause the video. We've got two things going on today. So not only are we cooking, but we're also selling cars because that's our side business. And we actually have some customers on our way to look at the Adams car. So I'm going to take a break real quick. We'll get back to this as soon as we deal with those folks. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Had a slight interruption. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the thigh, and basically you do very similar things. Just cut down on the inside here. You'll feel it a natural stop, and then if you bend, you see that bone start popping out.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you want to go ahead and cut down where that bone is. Just like that.
That doesn't look that easy.
It's not too bad. All right, and then your thigh is off, all right? And I want to make sure and keep the skin on. The skin is very important when you're making the soup.
Okay.
All right, so here's yours. Cut down like that. Just watch your fingers. It's a very sharp knife. There you go. Yeah, keep going. See how your bone is right there? See right here? Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you want to cut right down and follow the inside of that bone. There you
Up
go,
here?
right there. Yep. Mm-hmm. Watch your fingers. There you go. And just go ahead and slice it all the way through. There you go. Good job. Very nice.
Okay.
All right, let me see the knife. And then the wings are the easiest part, okay? So wings, flip it over, you grab it, right to the joint again, see, and it just naturally breaks off. and then you find where that little bone is right there and right there, right through. Okay, I'll let you try that.
Break it?
No, just go ahead and use your knife and
Cut right there?
right on the inside. There you go, like that. Now, grab it like this and then straight back. There you go. Watch your fingers. I want you to cut yourself. And need some muscle.
That ain't working.
There we go.
Good, good.
Alright, so now cut right down through here. Yep,
There's a bone.
yep, just right around it. There you go, perfect. Slice it off. There you go, perfect. Awesome. Good job.
Right.
Alright, so now all that's left is the breasts. And we'll go ahead, and this one's really easy. You just put your thumb on here. You feel the natural spine of the chicken. Feel that spine?
Oh, yeah.
And what you want to do is you want to put your knife on the side that you're going to cut off, along that spine, and just draw it back. And you're cutting right along that spine. Okay?
Okay.
So you see how that is? So now that I've cut, I just want to use my fingers. Just kind of follow it down to where you're catching the meat. Okay? And you just follow right down along the inside of the rib cage and everything. And just pull your knife down. Keep your fingers out of the way. And this comes off in just one big piece. Just like that. So there's a breast. All right, I'll let you try.
Well,
I'll kind of hold here, just don't cut me. Just slice, yep, back and forth. Pull it right back, pull it straight back. Okay.
did I get you?
Nope, you're good.
Oh.
Just want to get my hand out of the way. There you go. All right, very good. There you go. You got it. Peel it
I
back.
think I'm leaving
Yep.
meat.
No, you're
I'm
fine.
leaving meat.
No, you're fine because it's all going to be cooked at the end. So we cooked the carcass and everything. So it doesn't matter whether you're leaving meat or not because we'll pick that carcass clean when it's ready. When we get it done. It's looking good.
I feel like I'm butchering.
No, you're doing just fine. You're just learning a new skill. Butchering a chicken. You're doing good. Just watch your fingers.
I don't feel like I'm doing very well.
There you go. Good job. All right. And she got the breast removed.
All right.
Nice job.
Ooh,
All right, so
my
let's,
hands are cold.
Yeah. Chicken, the inside of the chicken is rather cold, but that's what we want.
How does that feel? Is that just frozen?
It's just, no, that's just part of the cartilage. It's all right. Not bad for your first time. All right, and again, this chicken is extra juicy. So we'll clean up some of that with some paper towels there. All right.
Okay.
So now that we got our chicken pieces all cut up, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and season the skin side of the chicken. So all the skin sides of the chicken is we're going to put some pepper on. And this is the only time that I use pepper in this whole recipe is using it to season the skin side of the chicken. So we'll go ahead and turn everything around here. There's a leg, there's the breast. And we don't have to worry about putting pepper on the wings. So we just want to get pepper on all these parts. So let's go wash up our hands here. All right, so what we want to do is we want to take the pepper grinder and just grind some pepper onto the skin side of each piece of the chicken.
Is there too much or too?
No, just use your judgment. It's not a science is not a perfect, or cooking is not a perfect science.
Why don't you want to do on the wings?
You can if you want to. It doesn't really make a difference. It's all your personal preference. salt shaker's running out of salt, so I'm gonna add a little bit of salt to my shaker. There we go.
Is that enough pepper?
Oh yeah, it's plenty. Pretty good.
Okay.
All right. Now I want you to go ahead and season the outside of the chicken with salt. Now this is where we want to actually start our pot. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn our burner on high.
I don't know if they can see that or not. Maybe.
Maybe. I'll move this over here. What we did is we turned our burner on high, and I do have a gas stove. Oh, actually, turned it on the wrong one. I want to turn it in front. All right, turn our burner on high. Put our pan over that burner, and what we want to do is we want to add our extra virgin olive oil, and this is what we're actually going to use to saute that chicken. And this is the start of our layering of our flavors, and I use a pretty good amount. So that's probably at least a half to 3/4 of a cup.
Okay.
So if you can see in here, I coat the completely bottom of the pan. So if you see in there, that pan is completely coated in the bottom.
Should I bring the mine?
And while the pan is, you just start the pan, you get your oil in there. Next thing we want to do is we want to start laying in our chicken. And we want to lay it skin side down because we want that fat to render. So I like to put my chicken in before the oil gets hot.
All these pieces?
Let's start with the breast first. Let's get those 2 breasts and let's lay those skin side down inside of the pan. I like to go ahead and use, do this before the oil gets hot, skin side down.
Oh.
There you go. And that's way the chicken will have time to actually start rendering its fat. So we'll go ahead and we'll put in the legs here. And we're basically just coating the entire bottom of this pan with the skin side down chicken.
Okay.
And then you can go ahead and you can just wait to put in your wings and your carcass. So
Okay.
what we're doing now is we're just rendering the fat from the chicken. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to swap out knives. I'm going to leave this one up here. Let's get chicken stuff on it. I'm going to swap out our knife. Give it a few pulls on the steel just to lay it nice and sharp. And then we want to start on our vegetables. So typically, let me get my camera in here so you can see what I'm doing. So typically what I like to do is on the vegetable side, I'll start with my onion. Okay, and I'll go ahead and I'll start and I'm going to show you how to dice an onion, all right?
Okay.
So what I do is, and there's a lot of different ways to do this, but I start by cutting off one end and then I'll go ahead and I'll cut off the other. Some people don't and leave that end on, and however you prefer to do it, I don't really care, but this always works out for me. And then I take the outer layer off of the onion. I'll throw all this stuff in the trash. All your onion skin. Okay. And then what I do is once I have my onion de-stemmed on both sides in the rind off, I go ahead and I slice it in half. Once you have it sliced in half, I'll go ahead and use the knife, and you can use it either side, but I go ahead and I start cutting it, but I don't cut it all the way through. See how this is still attached on this end? So I want to cut straight down, but I don't want it to go all the way through, so I want to leave it connected.
Okay.
It's just a little easier to dice that way. I'm going to let you dice the other side. Okay? And then on the side that's loose, so you can see there's a side that's loose here, and then the side that's connected. On the side that's loose, then I'll go ahead and I start my dice and just go straight down, using my finger as a rest to rest the knife blade again so I don't cut my fingers. And then once you get to that joint that's not cut all the way through, then I flip it on its side. And then I go ahead and I'll cut down, chop that, spin it, and then chop it again. And it doesn't have to be perfect. All I'm doing is I'm just trying to get this onion broke down a little bit, and not in huge chunks, but I want the flavor of the onion to completely mold in the soup. Now, what you want to do is when you grasp your knife, grab it like this. This hand always goes on the opposite side. You don't want to put your hand anywhere over here.
Okay.
And then use it, and you can start slicing and go down. Okay? So that's why your fingers are completely out of the way. Take your finger and grab it like this between your finger and your thumb. There you go.
I have to have
Yeah.
that.
You don't have to. There you go. Watch your thumb.
Oh, I'm cutting it all crooked.
That's all right.
Too
You're
thin.
good, that's fine. You can slice a little bit, and it might actually make it a little easier. Okay, rock it back and forth if you need to. All right, let me do this last one because this could be a little. You got it? All right. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. You don't want any more than that.
Okay.
All right. Now, start cutting from there, straight down. And you want, if you want to give it a little bit of a slicing action as you go down, it'll be a little easier. There you go. It'll be a little easier. There you go. Doing good. Keep going. You're doing good. Alright, so now you've reached the hinge side, so you want to flop that down, and then you go ahead and start cutting that up. There you go. That's fine, just like that. Perfect.
My knife marks aren't in the same spot.
That doesn't matter. This is cooking. It's not art. It's you're just cutting an onion. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's good.
Oh, it's not.
That's perfect right there. Good job.
Okay.
All right, so let me get by you here. And if you don't have one of these, this is just a handy scraper that I use all the time in the kitchen. And what I can do is I can take an entire onion, scoop it up, and easily move it. And I moved it to a plate right now because I'm letting that chicken, you can hear it in the background, it's really sizzling good, is what we're wanting it to do, okay? And then we can just use this to clean up our board. And then we're ready for our next veg. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do the celery next. And what I typically do on celery is I start at the back, and I'll do my first cut, and that, I don't use that for anything. But then I have all these stalks, and what I'll do is I'll take this to the prep sink, and I'm going to clean the stalks. Just make sure that the stalks are free of dirt, inside down. I'll do this for you.
Huh?
I think I'll do this for
You're
you.
getting water everywhere.
It's cooking. It's not cleaning. So she's the cleaner of the family, and I am the cooker. So whenever we're doing cooking, I typically am making a mess, and she's coming in after me cleaning it up. So it's probably a little more difficult for her to watch me dirty things up. Yeah, but that's all part of cooking. So you can use as little or as much celery as you want. So what I do is I try to get the stalks kind of even, like that, and I want those leaves. Those leaves are very important. Those leaves have got a lot of flavor. And then I'll just go ahead and I'll cut straight down. If you want to, you can use your fingers. See how I'm holding my knife?
Mm-hmm.
And that's about the size that you want. And you want to cut all the way to the end. Okay? So go ahead and cut those. I'm going to show you kind of how the chicken's doing over here.
Well, you're not showing my people.
Looking good. So what's happening is that that chicken fat is rendering into that olive oil. And I always use a good high quality olive oil. This is a very good high quality olive oil, and it's extra virgin. That's what I like to use.
Are we using all this?
Yep. That whole kind of stuff.
Now you said the leaves have flavor. How do
Yes.
they have flavor? But they're just leaves.
They're just leaves, but they actually have they give a nice flavor to the celery, and I think they actually have more celery flavor to them than the actual stalk does. That's just been, that's just my personal experience.
I got a few bigger ones in there.
It's all right. It makes no difference. It's cooking. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be perfect. It's all going to turn out well in the end, though. You have to believe. All right. So when you get down to, rather than doing that, when you get down, what you could do is you could just set this in a pile and just use the knife and just chop straight down, just like that. So you're not actually getting your hand in there, because it's nothing worse than chopping your finger. Okay.
Are we using that too? Those?
This is plenty of celery for this pot of soup, so we'll save that for later. And then what we want to do is we want to start on our carrots. And the carrots are a little harder to chop.
Okay.
All right. So what I do is I cut off the end, and we just throw this end away. All right. And then I'll go ahead and I'll just start, and you just make, use your judgment on the size of these. You can make some bigger, some thinner. It's completely up to you. But the big thing is don't chop your hands. Don't chop your fingers. And then the very tip of it, we'll throw it away. Alright, so go ahead. And I always start with the big side versus the little side, because it's easier to hold on to this little side. And this is where your hardest chopping is going to be, is on the big side. It's really easy to chop the smaller side. So if you hold on to the little side, chop the big side first, it's easier to control.
I am going all crooked and all over the place.
You're fine. It doesn't make any difference.
Some of them have thicker at the top and thinner at the bottom.
It makes no difference. Definitely it's the same way.
I'm not a professional, as you can see. You cut it all nice and easily.
Well, many years of chopping. So I just keep checking my chicken. Now what I'm going to do now is once your chicken, you can kind of see it start, you can see here how it's getting white around it. That means that side's cooking, and so what I would like to do is I would like to go ahead and get my onions in there now. So I'll go ahead and I'll get the onions, and I'm going to put them right on top of the chicken.
Are we doing more carrots?
Yeah, we're going to do more carrots. I'll do them for this sake of time. So we're going to get a spoon, or you can get a set of tongs. Tongs work too. Come on over here and look. So I just dropped the onions on top of the chicken. And you see how the onions are kind of resting on the chicken? What we want to do is we want to get the onions down into that oil in that chicken fat, okay? So you just, now we can move our chicken around in our pan because it's rendered that fat, and that fat, you know, it'll actually, that fat will stick to the bottom of the pan until it gets to a point where you can actually move it easily. It'll actually unstick itself. So we want to get our onions down in there, just like that. Okay, so now we've got our onions and our chicken cooking. So let's go ahead and let's finish chopping these carrots while that's cooking. So I'll come over here. And just for the sake of time, get down to a more manageable size. See how much easier it is to chop the thin side than it was the thick side, so that's why I
it was all
did it
the
like
same.
that. Now you know.
Oh, it felt all the same when I was cutting it.
Well, it does, but you know, as you get a little bit better and you start chopping faster, see how much quicker I can do it on the smaller side. But see how far my hand's away because I can hold on to that narrow side. So I don't have any risk of me getting cut. Alright. So now that we have our carrots all chopped, we want to put in our carrots. It is a lot of carrots. So, in order, I do chicken first, skin side down, then the onions, then the carrots, and then the last, I'll let you put this in, goes right on top. Put the celery on. Stuff it right on there. Okay. So let's take a look now what this looks like in here. Looking beautiful. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add a lid. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to let that chicken and those vegetables, basically, it's going to create a really thick like liquid in the bottom, and grab one thing. We're going to add some salt to help the vegetables break down a little bit. It draws the salt. I like to put a layer on the top, and it's okay to use salt in the recipe. We're going to be putting a lot of water in there later, and that's really going to dilute that salt. But that salt, at this point, will go ahead and it'll start releasing the water out of the vegetables. So the carrots and the celery and the onions, it'll start releasing that water. So now what we want to do is we want to go, once you get everything in, you get it salted, you get your lid on, we go from high down to medium, low. So in between medium and in between low on your burner. Okay? And that's to prevent the chicken from, or the vegetables from burning. Alright?
Okay.
So what we want to do is we want to leave that, and we want to leave that for a good 15 minutes.
Okay.
And just let that all marry in there, all those flavors, and that's all we have to do is just turn the heat down and just let it go for about 15 minutes. So we'll see you back here in about 15.
All right.
Okay, so one thing I did forget the carcass, and I did forget the legs. So basically, or the wings. It's time to chuck those in, and you can put those in as soon as you get those other items salted, and we just throw them on top.
What do you mean other items salted?
The vegetables.
Oh, the salt that you put on top.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's get a paper towel here so we don't drip. This was an extra juicy chicken. So we take the whole carcass and we'll just set it right on in, right on top of everything. Put that lid on and let it sit in there and work together. So, and then we're gonna go ahead and clean this up and we'll be back. All right.
Okay, so we put all that in the pot. So I wanted to give y'all a peek about, you know, what it looks like inside there. So
Okay, so if we take a look here, you notice that there's a lot of liquid in there. So all that liquid, that's all coming from the vegetables, the onions, the celery, the carrots. It's got that olive oil in there, that chicken fat's being broke down, and it's all creating a big, strong meld of flavors. And I can show you two right in here. See how much liquid's coming up out of that? Mm-hmm. That right there is making your flavor. So that's what we want to do. So after about 15 minutes of it simmering like that and developing those flavors is when you want to add your water. You can let it go for a little bit longer. The big thing is not allowing it to burn. So that's why we put the heat on medium-low. So what we want to do next, and this is the really almost the last step, is to creating the actual soup itself, is adding the water and then adding some more salt to it.
okay.
You know, we've added some salt, but it's not got enough for the a volume of water that we're going to put in. And then we're just going to let that chicken and those vegetables simmer in the water, and that's what creates the base of the soup. And it is the best, tastiest soup. It's just wonderful. So what we're going to do is we'll add the water real quick, and then we'll be back, and we'll show you what it looks like when it's filled up.
So talk.
All right, so we've got one bowl, and I use hot tap water for this part. But after this is simmered for 15 minutes and it's releasing all that stuff, it's time to add your water. So we'll put the water into the pot.
That's a lot of water.
And it seems like a lot of water, but go look at the pot real quick. That's one bowl of water, but actually look at the pot. That's not a lot of water once you put it in, but you see the top, you want that fat. That's chicken, that's that rendered chicken fat, that's the olive oil, and all those vegetables that have rendered down in there. That is where a lot of your flavor is, and that's what you want to see whenever you start adding water. So we're going to actually add several pots of water in there to get it up to a good enough volume. So we'll go ahead and add another one here. And see how I'm putting the bowl over the entire pot and then slowly pouring it in?
Yeah.
That's so I don't drip onto the stove.
Okay.
So we'll add just a little bit more.
How much water do you think that is?
Well, I just basically do it off of the amount of water in the stock pot. So, you know, people have different sized pots, so you just got to use your own judgment. But I like to have it, you know, probably within a couple inches of the top.
That's a lot.
All right, and then at the very last, we've added salt, but we want to go ahead and add some more salt. So we'll just use the good old
That is a
salt
lot
shaker
of
here.
salt.
It seems like it's a lot of salt, but all reality, kosher salt is not all that salty as compared to other salts. You don't want to use table salt, you use kosher salt.
Okay.
All right, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to let it simmer for about an hour or two.
Okay. Well, we're back. Chicken is in the pot. Been cooking with the veggies, the onions, all the water we added to it. Anyway, pot's going. About ready to pull the chicken out. So now we're going to start on the pasta, right?
That's correct. So we're going to start with the getting the kluskis together.
Okay.
And it's basically just a pasta dough, and it's very, very simple to make.
Kaluskis is Polish.
It is Polish, but you know. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a basic pasta,
Okay.
and we're going to use our farm fresh eggs. We have our own chickens, of course, and they lay beautiful eggs. And we're going to go ahead and use this for our pasta. But first, we're going to measure out the amount of flour. So whenever you're making a pasta from scratch, it's basically the basic recipe is about 100 grams of flour per large egg.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got our kitchen scale, we've got a bowl, and then we have our food processor. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure out our pasta, our flour, and then we're going to go ahead and get it into our food processor, put the requisite amount of eggs per 100 grams of flour, and then we're going to give it a whirl, and we're going to make our pasta.
What's 100 grams of flour?
Well, that's a good question. So we turn our scale on,
Oh.
and it's in pounds right now, so we just switch it. That's fluid ounces, that's grams. Okay? So what we want to do is we want to tare the scale. So we have a bowl here. We want to set the bowl on the scale. Notice it measures 308 grams. We want to basically hold this button down, and when we turn it back on, it'll show 0 grams. So now we're ready to go ahead and add our flour. So if you want to open up the flour there, and then we've got the cup measurement here. And if you don't want to measure in grams, it's about 3/4 of a cup. So basically we want to basically put flour in there until it says 100, which is about 3/4 of a cup.
So I got too much.
No, it doesn't matter because we're going to measure it by weight.
Oh, it turned off.
Yeah, there you go.
100?
100.
Oops.
Good enough. So
102.
102. So we'll go ahead and we'll dump that in. So that's 1 egg. Put another 100 grams.
How much do we usually make?
Well, we like Paluskis in this house. That's one of our favorites in the soup. So.
All right. Well,
Here's
we'll
another
walk in.
100. So that's 2 eggs.
How much do we usually make?
I like to make at least 5 or 6 eggs in my pasta. For
101.
Paluskis. Close enough?
Still going?
Yep.
How many is this?
This is 4.
Oh,
Good enough?
107.
And again, this is not an exact science, it's cooking, so.
Yeah. For me, it would be better as an exact science, probably.
Alright.
Okay.
So now what we want to do is, and you can do this either way, you could pre-crack your eggs into a bowl. Since we do have, farm fresh eggs, it's not a bad idea because every now and again you come across one that's, may not be 100% good, but typically our eggs are just absolutely wonderful. So we'll go ahead and crack.
Got a lot of good flavor.
They do.
So we need 5 eggs?
Every weekend, I always make
One's smaller.
eggs for breakfast. I usually typically make scrambled eggs.
You can tell they're farm fresh because look, we got a green, you got the brown, you got like a pinkish color. They're really cool. And this one's really small, so this is a smaller.
And they're absolutely beautiful. If you can look, they're absolutely beautiful in color. Very, very tasty. Very,
Show my
very good
people.
eggs. Let me come around.
Oh, you didn't put that. Whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're gonna show. So if you look in here, isn't that beautiful? Those are beautiful. All right. So, and again, this isn't perfect. We may need to add another egg. We may need to add additional flour. Humidity affects this, but basically, we'll just put it in the food processor.
I'm gonna go turn off that TV.
Okay. We'll put it in the food processor, and basically we'll pulse this. Let it run. And I can tell right now it's very, very close close to the right consistency, but I really think that we need another egg.
How do you say that?
It just looks a little dry to me.
Okay.
And you know, once you've made pasta from scratch a few times, then you get you'll start, you know, recognizing what the consistency needs to be. And what you want to do is you want to add salt, because you want to salt your pasta. And I just eyeball stuff. I don't really rely on real traditional recipes. So now, if you notice the pasta starting to clump, that's what you want. Right there. See how it's all staying together in a big clump? Alright. Go ahead and move things out of the way here. And we want to take the lid off the food processor. And basically turn this upside down. And you know it's about right when when it stays together in a clump. If you can see, it's kind of still has the same mold, and it comes out of the food processor and there's really not enough sticking to it. Take the blade out. And what I want you to do is I want you to form that into a ball. So if you notice, it's all sticking together.
Kinda.
Yep, that's about the right consistency. That's about a perfect consistency. And I want you to smash it down. Pick it up, smash it down. There you go. There you go. Form it into a nice tight ball.
It's coming off.
That's all right. Not going to hurt anything. It's not going to make it any better. Just smash it.
Oh, it is a ball.
Yep. And what we'll do is we'll get some plastic wrap, and then or you can get a Ziploc bag. We'll cheat, we'll get a Ziploc.
What's it matter?
It really doesn't. But once you get it into a nice tight ball,
I am handling it.
yeah, you really need to make sure that what you're doing is you're just making sure that this is all incorporated together, and you want your pasta to be sticky, at least for this recipe.
It's sticky.
And then you chuck it in here, and we will zip this up. And it's best, if you make your pasta in advance, of course, our schedule was kind of crazy tonight because Jacob has got an extracurricular activity going on, so we're kind of a little bit pressed for time. But it's best to make your pasta up in advance, and you can even make it a day in advance and put it in the refrigerator. So that's way you can have a pasta dough that's well and put together. So what we're going to do is we're just going to scrape our board here. All right. Perfect. All right. Very nice. So now that we have our
Now,
pasta
why
dough,
is this just in a bag? Why didn't we just
well,
leave it out?
typically you want that dough, the flour and the egg to become fully incorporated together. And in order to do that, it really helps. It speeds up the process by putting it, in some plastic, getting the air out, and then, typically I would just chuck this in the refrigerator and let it sit for a little bit.
Yeah.
But this will be just fine. We can actually use this right now if we really wanted to make Kaluskis right now. We can do that, no problem.
Okay.
So what we got to do now is that the soup has been going. The broth for the soup has been simmering for quite some time. And what that's doing is it's breaking down the chicken and making it super, super tender. So if we look inside, We can see it simmering very rapidly. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start pulling out the chicken, and we're going to let it cool for just a little bit so we can go ahead and get the meat off the bone, remove all the fat, separate all the fat out in order to put the meat back in the soup, because you want to have plenty of meat back in your soup.
We're gonna have a lot of meat because that was a
We're
big
gonna have a
old
lot.
chicken.
That's a big old chicken. Alright, so I just got a little aluminum pan here, and I'm going to give you the honors
Okay.
of starting to grab the chicken with the tongs and pulling it out of the soup. And when you do this, if you notice, see how it's draining there? You want to drain that all out for each piece, okay? And it's got carrots and stuff stuck in there, so just bring that out, set that inside of the pan. And they each, just pile it up, it doesn't matter. Pile it up. We just want to make sure and drain all the broth off of it so it doesn't pool up in our pan.
What's this?
That's a thigh. It's alright if you get, it's okay if you get a few vegetables in there, it's not going to hurt anything.
Got two pieces, thigh
Nice.
and a
Wing.
wing there. Oh, big piece.
Looks like the other breast.
We already did one?
Yep.
I think that's everything, isn't it?
Check real close. And what I do is I stir the soup up, because I also look for skin, because you know it's really easy for the skin to come off the chicken sometimes.
I don't see anything.
Alright. So what you do is you have a steaming hot pile of chicken. It's a steaming hot. Alright.
Do I need to put the lid on this, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
At this point the stock is pretty much done.
Okay.
But what we're going to do is we need to basically shred our chicken. And if you notice, it's piping hot.
Mm-hmm.
So what we want to do, or what I typically do, is you take it out of the pan. And of course we cleaned our board from when we used the raw pieces. And we'll go ahead and lay out our chicken. And it just helps it cool a little faster by separating it.
There's not much on that.
There's not, but there is still meat. So if you look around where the breast was, you can see kind of here that meat. We're going to pluck all that off. Okay.
Okay.
And if you notice, a lot of this chicken has the skin on, the fat, so we're going to remove all that. And this is something that the dogs absolutely love. So we'll get a paper plate.
The skin's gone off the, oh no it's not.
That's one of the wings. First remove all the skin off the chicken. And I use tongs for this because this chicken is still piping hot. I mean, it's piping hot. So off the breast there. Get it off the thighs. You got more tolerance, heat tolerance than I do. Get it off the legs. And basically, you know, and I'm kind of picky about the way I like, what I put back into the pot. I only like solid meat chunks. I don't like to put gristle or fat or anything like that back into the soup. It just kind of makes it really unappetizing if you reach into a bowl of soup and you pull out a big old glob of fat, chicken fat. That's not appealing. So I try to peel this off prior to start doing the meat. And then what I'll do in order to the wings, you're not going to get much meat out of the wings except for this little dollop here. And that's kind of like the little bit of a breast portion that we have on that. It's where it attaches to the breast. Alright, get this one over here. And of course, you can cook your chicken down as much as you want. So I create a pile for the dogs and a pile for the trash. So I'll get a couple of forks here, and that'll help get that meat shredded. I'm going to do one, I'm going to let you do the rest. So we'll start with the thigh here. Let me pull the meat off of the thigh here. Alright, and again, I'm very picky about what I actually put back in the soup. So any connective tissue or anything like that, it goes in the dog pile. And then the good meat will actually go back into the soup. So I'm kind of particular about that.
Does all this go?
Yeah. So this is all. So we'll create a pile over here on our board here with the good meat. And everything else will just kind of either go in the bone pile or the dog pile. And I pick the bones clean for the dogs because they actually, this is one of their favorite meals.
So is this good?
Yeah. So you put that in a good pile. That was my GoPro.
I guess it's dead.
It does that.
Oh.
I don't know why. GoPros, man, I'll tell you what, they are a pain. They go off for just randomly. GoPro's watching this. You might want to develop a GoPro that doesn't do that.
Is it still working?
Oh no, mine stopped recording.
Oh.
But yours still recording. So
Okay.
we'll just keep going. All right.
Oh,
So I'll let you help me. We'll put our bones over here, and we'll put all the good the dog meat over here. But just make sure that it's important that we don't get any bones or anything like that in here. That would be not.
Is this like stuff you would tear off here?
Anything that feels rubbery or just doesn't feel like very good meat, I would put it in the dog pile. But that would be fine. So take your time on this part. You don't want to get any bones. Nobody likes to bite into a piece of chicken and get bone. That would not be ideal in your soup. Ooh, that's hot.
A little bit.
And that's where the forks come into play. You can shred it quicker with forks and pain-free.
What's this? No.
It's fine.
Like I don't like this piece. I don't know. Does this like just take that fat stuff?
Yeah, just
off?
take the fat stuff off
That's
and
good.
any gristle. So you feel this. This is
Mhm.
like a bit of fat. We want to remove all that. And typically, if you wouldn't like just eat this, then I wouldn't put it in your soup.
Oh, I'm particular about my chicken anyway.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are.
Ever since I don't know, when I was a kid and I had braces, for some reason, I just had a hard time eating chicken, and I still do sometimes. Depends on how it's made.
Well, I try to make it good. Dogs don't like that.
Okay.
You want to do this one?
Sure.
Ooh. And there's nothing wrong with letting your chicken cool down. Typically, that's what I do. I let it cool down for about a half
But our
hour.
oldest son is starving at this moment
He is.
and wants to go home because he lives out on his own. So he's
Mom and Dad are no
impatiently
longer
waiting
cool.
for food. Because he still likes to eat, of course.
Well, this is one of his favorite meals too.
It is.
Chicken soup.
He has been here selling cars all day. He's been here since about 8 o'clock this morning. Well, I guess not selling cars all day. He did sell 2.
That's good.
That's
Good
his
day.
business. He started this car business, and David helps with that and kind of his business partner.
Yep.
So
Which I'm about ready to go full time into doing that. Of course, everybody should know by now that I will be retiring come January 1st. We've got about another little less than a month and a half, and then I'll be completely gone from the sheriff's office. And that's one of the things on my YouTube channel. I actually have not posted anything as of yet. Still, as I'm
Well,
waiting.
you're on mine. They didn't even know where you worked.
Well, but
I said you worked for the government.
government. Well, I'm going to be retiring from law enforcement after 31 years, so I'm really looking forward to that. It's been a long 31-year career. It takes law enforcement takes a toll on your soul, so to speak. And I'm eager to get that part of my life behind me. Sam's over there snoring, growling at the
You hear
same
some
time.
snoring and you're wondering where it's coming from.
Yeah.
We're
that
not
would be
asleep
Sam.
at the wheel here. We got a.
A bevy of dogs.
Are you sure it's Sam?
Pretty sure. No, that might have been Petey.
Yeah, that's Petey, who doesn't typically growl.
Typically.
You must be wanting this chicken.
Must be.
Help you. All right. I'm a little slow.
Alright.
This chicken's made.
The breast is easy because it's not got much in it in the ways of fat or anything. And let me work on this carcass a little bit here. So what do you think of cooking so far?
Well, this is a big project to start with.
Yeah, I don't think it is,
It
but
takes, because you're used to cooking it. This is the first meal I've ever made,
you think this is too
other
complicated?
than maybe a pork chop, but no, I don't think it's complicated. There's just a lot to it. It's a long video. Okay,
Yeah, chicken soup takes a long time.
any soup takes a while. But
Yeah.
it's a big first step. That's okay. You'd think as big as that chicken was, that there would be more meat than this.
You would have thought, yeah.
That's okay.
That's okay. Alright. So we got a pile for the dogs. We could have created more, but due to time. Alright, so we got
That's fine.
our pile of good chicken here.
Whatever
You want to
do.
grab that towel and then, the lid's already open to the pot. So we're going to go ahead and take our mover over here. And we're going to go ahead and put that all in. Alright.
All the dogs come around.
Yes, they do. All right, so good.
Rinse my hands.
So we've got the Kluskis made. We've got the chicken in the pot. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean up a little bit, and then our next step is going to be tasting the broth, and then getting the Kluskis ready to be made in the chicken broth.
Okay.
All right, so what we want to do is Now that we got our chicken returned back into the pot, we want to get this pot of chicken, we want to turn it on high and really get it up to a boil, because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start our Kaluskis. And in order to do that, we got to have boiling water. Alright. We're going to take our dough out of our bag. We're going to put it in a bowl. Alright. That's what that looks like.
I thought it wasn't recording.
Oh, it's not. I best start it back up. Let's see if it'll start back up. Okay, so we got the chicken deboned, and we went ahead and put our Kaluskis, our dough, basically, in our pasta dough, in our bowl, and we turned the stove on to high, and so I'll give you a look at what the pot of soup looks like. It's looking really good. It's smelling great.
It does smell really good.
So it's
Smelling up the whole house.
It's smelling up the whole house. It's wonderful. So you see that fat? Don't get rid of the fat on top. That's olive oil. That's rendered chicken fat. So you're gonna. I like a little fat in my soup. Some people who are maybe, I don't know, more concerned about fat and that sort of thing. I like the flavor. I'm more into the flavor and the mouthfeel of the soup than I am worried about consuming some fat. And so I'm not concerned about that. Remember that a lot of that's olive oil and straight chicken fat. So. All right, so I'm going to do a few of these, and I'm going to let you do the rest. So, what we're going to do now is that we have it to a rolling boil. Is we're going to start making our Kaluskis, and we've got our dough, and I put it in a bowl. I like using a bowl. I usually just use a big spoon in order to do this process, but basically it's pretty easy. You take the spoon. You set it in the hot soup and let your spoon heat up. This will help prevent the dough from sticking to your spoon, the pasta dough. That little bit of oil and stuff that's coated on will actually help too. And then what you want to do is you want to take a spoonful of your dough. That's about right.
Okay.
Depending on how you like the size of your Kaluskis. And then you drop it into the soup. And it comes right off your spoon, just like that. Pretty easy. And then you just do that. You cut a piece of dough. If you want to come in here and look, hon, I can show you. And then you drop it right in the soup. So you take your spoon, you cut a piece of dough, like that, and you drop it in the soup. And then you want to always re-wet your spoon so it doesn't stick. Okay? And then you keep doing that until you're completely out of dough. So I'm going to let you do that process. Helps if you hold it so you can see what you're doing. I'm going to let her do that process. And then we'll be back once she gets those
Is that too big?
knocked out. You make them as big or as little as you
Oh,
want.
I don't.
You're doing good.
I think. Ouch. That one doesn't want to come off.
Just hit the side of the pot. Alright, so if you've got one
All right, I got it.
that sticks, so what we've got now is we've got some cooked dough on the edge of the spoon that we have to remove. So I'll work on that real quick and get that done so you don't have problems with your next batch. I kind of take this part for granted because I do this, so I know what to feel like if it's going to stick or not. So let's go ahead and stick it in here, coat your spoon, and then go ahead and get your dough. That's fine.
It's actually harder to scoop out.
It is. It's
Ouch,
very
I
hard.
think it is. That dough's like hard as a rock.
Yep.
I would imagine if you put it in the fridge,
It gets harder.
yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if it's me or what, but
I don't know either. Let me see your spoon here. Let me do a few and then I'll see if I can't get the spoon cleared off. See how I kind of cut? That sometimes works a little easier. Slide it back. See how it's not sticking? So I just cut and then drop it. Try that. It helps if you have some strength in your hands.
and I don't. I'm a pansy.
There you go.
Well, kinda. I think some of those are gonna be really fat.
Yes, I think you're right. We don't want to make them too big.
That one's better.
Very good. Yep. Yep, cut it. So if you can see what she's doing, you see the dough in there. She's using the edge of the spoon to cut it. And I'm sure there's probably better ways to do this, but this is just traditional. This is the what we do when we make chicken soup. We
Well,
just
it's
use
a
this method.
Kalinski.
Yeah, each one's an individual shape, and when they get done, they have a lot of surface area, so the fat and the chicken broth and the leaves off of the celery will all stick onto those kluskis and just make them even more flavorful.
What's that? Okay. I'm still getting stuff on the spoon, but at least it's working.
Yeah, I think that's working a lot better.
At least they're not stuck to the spoon.
So I'll show here what we're looking at. So here's the pot. And then here's how she's cutting the dough.
Kind of.
Just like that.
I am not the fastest.
This part it does take a while. All right, so while she does that, I am going to taste this broth real quick. And what I'm doing is I'm just tasting it to ensure that it's, the salt is good. It's super, super hot, boiling hot, so I want to take my time to blow on it. If you rush this part, you get a burnt tongue.
The little beagle is watching very intently down here below him,
So the salt is perfect.
hoping we'll drop something.
Now Vicky, she likes her food on the salty side, and I like mine normal. but don't be afraid to add salt. Salt,
I'll typically add salt after he's done.
Yes.
To my bowl.
She will add salt on top of her bowl, even though that's perfectly fine for my palate. But she likes to put a lot of salt in her food. So, but the broth tastes wonderful.
Oops, better dip that a little more. We're getting there. A lot of Kaluskis.
Yep. So if you notice, they're floating at the top. That's a good sign that those are cooked all the way through.
Yeah, usually the chicken all sinks to the bottom. So
Yep, chicken sinks to the bottom, and the Kaluskis are at the top. So,
this is really hurting my hand.
do you want me to take over?
Nah, it's fine. I'm almost.
Okay.
Just don't have the hand strength that you have.
Yep, I've made hundreds of pots of this soup in my lifetime.
And it's as good as his grandma's. Even his mama said that.
Yep, even my aunties who live
yeah.
up north in Connecticut have come down and my mom actually says my soup's better than her mom's.
Yeah, she does. Or did.
But I am kind of biased, and I think that that time that chicken has to render that fat, and then adding those vegetables on and letting that all meld together is really the key to making
And
this.
our boys, we have 2 boys, have liked it since they were babies. We didn't feed them this as a baby, but we would feed them some of the chicken broth in a bottle.
In a bottle, we
They
would put
would
the
suck
chicken
it
broth
down.
in the
They loved
bottle. Yep.
Cooled, of course, not hot. But
But yeah, they really loved it.
so they've grown up on it and they love it. It's their favorite meal. So even Jacob, the youngest, who is out and about, will probably be hungry when he gets home. And we'll probably eat some when he gets back. All right, throwing that last one in.
All right. So once you get the last one in, what you want to do is you just want to let it, still kind of at a rolling boil. You got to wait for that last Kaluski to cook, and they typically sink. And like I said, whenever they're done, they usually float. And it doesn't really take too long to cook this, the actual Kaluskis. And what you're looking for is on a texture, you want it to have a bite to it, like you want it to be dense. So you don't want them light and fluffy, you want them dense, and it has a good chew. That's part of the enjoyable part of the soup, having that chew on your Kaluskis.
Hey, Rocket, you want to be on the video?
Our dogs are all around.
Because they want food.
They all
People
like
food.
chicken soup day because they get all the scraps.
Yeah. There's not a lot, though.
Not terribly.
Okay.
All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll give her a stir on the bottom. Just make sure nothing's stuck to the bottom. It feels pretty good. All right, so I think that we're good to go. So we'll go ahead and we'll let Adam be the judge of actually how it tastes and if he's done a good job or not.
Excuse
So-
me, sweetie.
Does. So, I had a lot of help from Dad, but Adam is getting ready to take his first bite and he can tell me if it's any good or not.
It tastes like it usually does.
Good?
Yeah.
And very hot?
Yeah, very hot.
So you think I did alright? Well,
Yeah.
with having help, but did alright with Dad?
Yeah.
Alright. Good. So here's my bowl of soup. As you can see, it's got plenty of carrots in it. It's got celery, the chicken, and then the best part, obviously, the big Kaluskis. So now I'm going to sit down and enjoy. Okay, so I just finished eating my bowl of soup and it was good as always, and I'm completely stuffed. I can barely move. I'd like to thank my husband for showing me the way to make chicken soup today, and the first of many, I guess, meals to make on my journey. If you have any questions about the recipe or how to do something, I'm sure my husband would love to give you answers because he likes that. Other than that, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next time. Thanks. Bye.